Good morning, lovely people. Happy New Year. Welcome, welcome, welcome into 2026, where you said New Year, New Me. So let's get to it, okay? Let's get to it. Come on in, tapping the screen, sharing the live. Live goal today is going to be 5K. Once we get there, we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep tapping, sharing this live out to 60 shares and getting our daily heart needs, okay? Because what we don't want to do is stay stuck in survival mode in 2025 and then say we're stuck in survival mode. You're not stuck, you're not trapped, and you're not defeated. What you are is you're just not equipped with the tools that you need to get out, okay? So being in survival mode is a choice, and you can argue with your mom, and I'm not going to argue with you. Being in survival mode is an option. It is not your fault that you are there, but it is your responsibility to get yourself out. Okay. So by being equipped with the right tools, the right information, the right knowledge, and more importantly, hello, and more importantly, the right headspace, you in fact can get out of survival mode. So come on in, tap the screen, share the live. We're going to talk about it because no one else is talking about it. They just mention it very quickly and they pass on through. Okay. So don't let survival mode be the main character in your 2026. Let you be the main character of your 2026. The trips you take, the dreams you accomplish, the friends that you make, the relationships that you get into, let that be what you talk about, not talk about how burnt out you are, how tired you are. Main character energy. Yes, intelligent gut. Yes. Main character energy. And we're not afraid to be the villains in anyone's story this year. Why? Because more than likely we were already that in the first place. If you're already afraid of it, it's probably already presenting itself. And you're just trying to sit around and buy yourself more time by being compliant, by people pleasing, by self abandonment and self neglect. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Tap the screen, share the live. I hope your new year is off to an amazing start. I hope that you did something that actually made you feel good, not something that everyone else told you that you should have did to bring in the new year. Mm, I spent my new year on the phone with my friends, texting a couple of loved ones. I was in the house kind of piddling around, making sure my kitchen was clean. I used to have this New Year's belief that the way you brought in the New Year is the way your year will go. Now, I necessarily don't believe that officially. What I do believe is that how you continue your habits throughout the year is how your year will go. So you are the author, the writer, and the believer of your own success. So what you actually put into play will run its course. Okay. So how many of you on this live right now have screamed 2026 is my year, or new year, new me, or this year feels different, this year feels like money? If you said, felt, or believe any of those, drop me in the chat. Drop me in the chat because I know that in the past, I have absolutely been that person. New year, yes. New year, new me. This year's going to be different. I'm so excited. Da, 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 da. This is actually the first year, to be honest, that I actually feel like this year is going to be different. Yes. Yes. This is the first year I actually feel like it's going to be different. And not because of anything that I thought before. This is because just intentionally, intuitively, I feel like it's going to be different. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining. Bessie's, get this live up to 5K, okay? Because in the next few minutes, I'm about to save somebody from dragging the same pain into this new year and keeping it. Okay. If you're looking at me and you're like, she said survival mode, that is my thing. I woke up exhausted this morning and I don't want to do this every day of the year. If you're listening to my voice right now and you're like, I'm tired of being tired, even though I'm getting the rest, even though I'm taking my supplements, even though I'm doing everything that the doctors are telling me. If you are looking for a actual new year, new you, you have hit the right live because it always starts on the inside, not the outside. So come on in. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you all so much. And I am not going to be just one sided. It's not just about me today on this live, it's about you as well. All right. So, first and foremost, I want each and every one of you to know that you did do enough last year. Okay. You did do enough last year. More importantly, not only did you do enough, you overdid yourself last year. How many of you can look back and reflect and realize that you extended yourself way further than you should have from most of the people in your life? Some of you have overextended, overgiven, overinvested, over talked, over tapped, over. And now you're looking back like, dang, where would I be if I would have done these things for me? Where would I be if I would have thought about it a little longer? Some of you guys are still sitting in it because you probably just did it again last night. Huh? So, first and foremost, show of hands in the room. How many of you actually understand what your body is going through while you're in survival mode? Drop me in the chat or raise your hand. How many of you actually understand what is taking place in your body while you're battling survival mode? Because the truth is, this has been a constant conversation of, see, understood, a constant conversation of it being something that is very cliche or maybe just a little, it is fight or flight, but give me more. What exactly is happening? What is putting you in fight or flight? Thank you for answering, Jay. I appreciate that. Some of you don't really know it's not just a trending topic. This is real deal taking place in our bodies, and it's not normal. Everyone in the world is not going through this. hmm So, survival mode is when your brain is constantly scanning for a threat. Okay. So, in your mind, you're constantly running from a bear. You're constantly fighting for your life. You're constantly going through everything that your body needs to be in defense of. Okay. So, survival mode happens when you are in prolonged states of, sorry, y'all, prolonged states of stress, chronic mental untreated illnesses. It also can happen if you are just constantly in awareness of danger zones. Okay. So for me, I was programmed in a chaotic environment, meaning I carried it with me throughout my whole life. So although my brain is constantly scanning for threats, my body is always tense and is ready to protect me by any means, releasing that adrenaline and that hence the fight or flight mode. Okay. So if your body is constantly in a fight, flight response situation, then your brain is never going to rest, which means your nervous system is not requesting. Why are my words, y'all? Please forgive me. I do know how to speak clear English. Your body is constantly protecting you, so it's not resting, okay? It's not resting. And so your body does not know. And when I say body, your mind does not know the difference between physical danger, emotional, or spoken danger. I am a life coach. I am an identity repair coach. And I speak on identity because most people have been in survival mode for so long that that has become their identity. They don't know who they are outside of survival. When you ask them who they are, what their dreams are, what they want, oh, thank you. Yes, that is what is important to me. Tapping is clapping in this room. Come on in, tap the screen, share the live. Don't be afraid to tap that screen. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I will not bite you. I will not bite you. I promise. Live goal today is going to be 5K. And we're going to get these shares up to 50 shares for this live because we're not gatekeeping in here. And if anybody on the outside of this live needs to get out of survival mode or wants to get out of survival mode, we want them to know that there is a space for that. Okay. So come on in. Let's get this thing out there. I need your help to push it out, and you guys need my help to get you out. Okay. So, when you are constantly escaping survival mode, but you're doing it the wrong way, you can make yourself more burnt out. How many of you in the room? Of course, I got you. I got you. How many of you in the room have tried to escape survival mode by ignoring it? Show of hands. You've probably been told things like you're tripping, that's not real, you're being dramatic. You've probably been told things like you need to sleep more. You need to do, everyone tells you exactly what you need and you're doing it, but you're still not getting any relief. hmm How many of you have tried to escape survival mode by changing locations in which you live? You've moved houses, you've moved cities, you've moved states. Some of you have even moved countries. How many of you have tried relocation to escape survival mode? Mm-hmm. 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 How many of you have tried to escape survival mode by leaving certain people behind, leaving friendships, leaving relationships, going no contact with certain family members? How many of you have thought that removing people from your circle and your life are going to get you out of survival mode? Me in the chat or a wave of hands? Yes. Mhm. And last but not least, this is the one that most people always come into my mentorship program and talk about. They buried themselves in hustle culture. They thought if they made the right amount of money, if they made more money, if they had the money, then they would get out of survival mode. Please be honest with yourself and everybody else in the chat and say that that was your story. Because most people believe that the reason that they're actually in survival mode is because they need to make money. They think they have a money problem. Let me be the first person to tell you, my love, you do not have a money problem. That's not what this is. You don't need another job. You don't need another course. You don't need to sell another product. You don't need another job. Hey, creative soul, you don't need more money. You need safety. You have a safety issue. There's no such thing as behind, Abby. Everything happens in its proper timing. At 19 years old, can I tell you that I was a mother? Okay. Hello, Esther. Welcome in. I was a mother and I was in a relationship that I had no business being in. I still lived with my mom, getting ready to move out on my own, and had no idea what the heck I was going to do with that either. Okay. So, with that being said, at 19 years old, no one knows where they're supposed to be. There is no such thing as behind. Unless you don't have your education, you're not behind. Okay. So when I say you don't need more money, the problem isn't that you shouldn't work. It's not that you should rely on the government. What I'm saying is you can make millions and millions and millions of dollars, but if you do not fix the actual problem, you are still going to react, respond, and feel as if you're in survival mode. So the person that got on here and mentioned the government, I never said anything about the government. So I don't know if we're taking 2020, we already bringing 2025 into 2026. I didn't say quit your job. I didn't say stop earning an income. I didn't say rely on the government. What I did say is you don't have a money problem, you have a safety problem. But that's here nor there, okay? So I want each and every one of you to know, okay? I wanted each and every one of you to know that you did enough last year. You supported everybody you were supposed to. You went all the places you needed to. You made the decisions that were best for you and your family. And now it is time for you to actually deal with what it is. You need to go ahead and tend to your nervous system. Happy New Year. You need to tend to your nervous system. It's still operating like you're one mistake away from losing everything. How many of you can't be sick because you know if you fall sick or ill in bed, then you will end up losing more than you have gained? How many of you know that if you say a simple no, I can't perform this work task, then you could possibly lose your hours and lose your home? How many of you have had those thoughts in the back of your mind that if I don't push hard, I will fall apart? Listen, a lot of people live in this. Understanding that this is how hyper independence comes in, because then you're like, if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. So now you think you're turbo speed super boss, titanium can't be broken. And now you don't rest. You don't call in when you're sick. You don't take care of yourself by any means at all. And now you're wondering why not only are you burnt out and then you're exhausted, but you're sick, your body's breaking down, and you just can't seem to get out of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Understood. Understood. Tapping is clapping. Come on in, you guys. Tap the screen, share the live. Live goal today is going to be 5K. We're going to share this out to 50 shares and we're going to get our daily heart me's, okay? If you guys are new here, I'm so sorry I haven't introduced myself. I'm Von Monique. I'm your favorite identity repair coach, and I coach high achieving, hyper independent women through the processes of escaping survival mode, breaking free from their shame, and more importantly, ending their self sabotaging ways. Okay? Because if you know what I know, I am going to put you on some real game. If you are stuck in survival mode, you are probably being controlled by your shame, which is going to make you self sabotage. Self sabotaging is saying, I know I don't feel good today, but I'm going to go outside because I told my sister I was coming outside with her. Self sabotage will say, I know it is better for me to drink this tea, but I really want to have this piece of cake. Self sabotage is saying, I'm going to do the very thing that is opposite of what is going to get me out of survival mode because I am accustomed to my bad habits, but I'm also interested in what is on the other side of greatness for me. I help you break from that so that you don't continue to make the same decisions unconsciously over and over again, making you spiral in the same year over and over. I lived the same life for 5 years. Every year, I told myself every year, next year's going to be different. I'm not going to have late fees. I'm not going to do payment plans. I'm not going to be unhealthy. I'm not going to procrastinate on my content. I'm going to bust out my businesses. And I'm going to be the most successful curse breaker, all these things. And what ended up happening? My habits were stronger than my desires. I thought I was the problem. I thought I was weak willed. I thought I didn't have enough discipline. I thought that I was crazy. But what it really was I was stuck in my own demise, my own chaos. And because I had repeated that same life over and over and over again, it just became my new normal. Yeah, so I was on the start, stop, stuck cycle. Start, stop, stuck cycle. I stayed on the start, stop, stuck cycle. Thank you for hitting that goal. I appreciate you all. Tapping is clapping this room. If I'm dropping gems, the way you guys let me know I'm picking them up is by showing me them hearts. If you can relate to anything that I'm saying, we should see the double taps of hearts going up. It should be like a heart fetty in this room because I know that I'm not the only one in the world. Some of y'all just aren't courageous enough to say it just yet, and that is okay. But once I got started, I was super excited. I had the momentum and the motivation and the power, and I'm going full throttle. Okay. And then I got to a point where I would be like, oh, shoot, what are you thinking? You can't do this. What are you thinking? You can't do. Who do you think you are? But now I know that was that shame. Because what a lot of you don't understand is shame tells you that you're the problem and you are unworthy of love. You are unworthy of success. You don't deserve or have the ability to have great things. So shame is in my ear. And instead of me telling shame to shut up and sit the hell down, I'm listening. I'm listening. And so, because I'm listening to that shame, now I stop. Now I'm stuck. And now I'm back here in depression. Now I'm back here reliving the same lies that I believed the last time. Now I'm over here hiding, isolating, and avoiding. Okay? So, some of y'all are learning something new for the very first time. And I love that for you. We're going to push through this. This year is going to be different. Why? Because we are adding to our toolbox of success. Good morning, Snow White. Happy New Year. We're adding to our toolbox of success, okay? So the reason that I'm here today, hey, good morning. Welcome in is what I was trying to say. Why are my words? Y'all, I don't know what's happening. I think I'm a little too excited. I gotta calm it on down. So the reason you're starting the beginning of your year on TikTok is not because you're bored. You're not bored here. What's actually happening is you are scrolling and trying to find your starting place. Isolation is a very dangerous place to be in because if you're in isolation, that means you're avoiding reality. In avoiding reality, in most cases, I won't say all, in most cases, you are hiding from the work that you actually need to do. So, in each of my mentees that I have sat and spoken with that like to entertain isolation, what I understand is they always have the same excuse of every time I go outside, I get triggered. So here's the thing, if you think the only way to combat your triggers is to stay inside and to avoid people, you are your own common factor here. Triggers are alarms that are your responsibility to turn off. So if you are triggered, that means it is for you to take the time to figure out why you are triggered, what is happening, what needs to be done. It's no one's responsibility to walk on eggshells to avoid triggering you. And if you don't want to be triggered, the only way to combat that is by you healing the thing that is being triggered. If you stay in isolation, that means you only have you and your own conversation, you and your own thoughts, you and your own beliefs. You can't evolve that way. You're one person and you don't know everything. So, cutting yourself out from the outside world to avoid interacting and engaging with people is literally you staying small on purpose. It's literally you staying small on purpose. Avoidance is not a healing coping mechanism. Avoidance is you sabotaging yourself. Multiple things can be true. There are moments in the Bible where God does talk to you in isolation. Meanwhile, there are other times where God can talk to you without you running from the world. God never told you to go and run away from the world so that you don't have to fix what's broken. Those are different things. Those are different things. If you are isolating because you're being triggered, not because you're being called, if you are isolating because you don't want to deal with you, that is a different thing. Everyone likes to group things together. Here's the thing, I'm not a Cinderella type of person. I'm not a one size fits all type of person. If it don't apply, let it stroll on by. But if you know that God has called you into isolation to be with Him, that is very different than someone or something offending you. And now you think that the only way to combat that is by hiding from the world. Tapping the screen and sharing the live is all I'm asking for the people today. Tapping is clapping. We're going to get this thing out to 50 shares because we don't gatekeep in here. We want to help everyone get out of survival mode to the best of our abilities. And we more than anything want people to know that they are not alone in their own thoughts because that helps you stay in depression. Depression for me has been easier to escape because I now understand the one thing I need to do to escape depression is do the thing that I refuse to do. The first thing I do is I change my habits. Prayer is always allowed. I got you. Prayer is always going to happen in this room once it's asked for. I'm not the person to force anything on anybody, and I understand boundaries and things like that. However, what I would say, when I'm depressed and it's because I'm not doing the thing that I want to be doing for whatever reason, most cases in my past, the reason I couldn't live the life I wanted to is because I didn't financially have the ability to. Okay. So when you think I want to go on this trip, but I can't because I don't have the money, that will make you depressed. Oh, if you're thinking, oh, I want to work out, but I can't because I can't go to the gym, that will make you depressed. These things are small to some, big to others. It is time for you to actually get out there, stretch your faith, and do the thing that you're called to do. Okay. So I remember growing up, I used to have the most ignorant mentality of depression was a state of mind. As I got older and as life actually happened to me, I learned very quickly that that was ignorance. Not only is it not a state of mind, it is real, but it requires more work than you just saying, nope, not today and dusting it off. That's not going to heal it. That's not going to manage it. That is not going to work. You actually have to put in the work. Okay? You actually have to put in the work. So I want you to know that the tired feeling that you're having is not just physically, it is your soul still trying to survive. It is your soul still trying to survive. 2025 did not just drain you, it actually showed you that you're doing everything alone. I got you. It has shown you that you're doing everything alone. And the truth is, and some of y'all aren't going to like it when I say this, some of you are doing it alone because you feel like it's better if you do it alone, because you don't want to deal with the pushback. You don't want to feel vulnerable. You don't want to feel weak. You don't want to wait. Some of you don't have the patience to allow others to help you. Me being the oldest daughter, when it comes to me asking for help, I just started to feel safe asking for help because I'm used to having to figure it out alone. I'm used to having to be in a situation where I had to be the one helping everybody else. Triggers are unresolved issues or feelings from childhood. Agreed. Agreed. Okay. So, as the firstborn, I had to naturally be the fixer. I had to naturally be the standby. I had to be the therapist. I had to be the show up and show. I had to be everything. Yes, I will be loading it onto my YT. Okay, I will load it up to my YT, and then she would just be able to go over there and replay it. Okay, so as the oldest, I was the unpaid therapist. I was the chef. I was the hairstylist. I was the everything. You're welcome. And what ended up happening was that prepared me to not just take that into my everyday life, but each and every relationship that I grew with or grew into or entertained. So when we talk about survival mode, we are not just talking about in our jobs. We're not just talking about in our day to day structure. We're not just talking about all of the things that are surface level. We're talking internally. Just like earlier when I was talking to you about your bodies not getting the rest it needs. How many of you in the room actually know that when you're in survival mode, your time clock goes by faster? How many of you in the room have ever said, I don't have enough hours in the day? Where did the time go? Why is time moving so fast? How many of you have noticed that? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Some of you were like, dang, we're saying Happy New Year again, and it was just New Year. So the reason that this is happening is because our brains are always running so fast, scanning for threats, trying to keep us safe, trying to remember, trying to keep up, trying to, all the things that in our minds, time is going by because the focus isn't being focused on anything versus the people that are out of survival mode, the people that actually are not afraid of peace, the people that do not live in the chaos anymore. Their time is actually accurate time. Have you ever noticed that people in survival mode move so much faster? They're always in a rush. They're always in a rush because they never take the time to sit still. And actually, beyond that, half of you wake up and you jump out of bed, bolt out, and you're running. You're in traffic. Move, get out my way. I'm running late. You do everything super speed. No matter how much planning you do, no matter how ahead of things you get, something in you always makes you run late. Survival mode always has a level of urgency. Why? Because when you're in danger, fast is better. How many of you understand that being in survival mode is breaking down your immune system? I'm happy to have you. How many of you understand being in survival mode breaks down your immune system? Some of you have been sicker than ever and you just think that the germs are so bad. Some of you stay sick. Some of you have gotten new levels of sick. Your body is fighting like hell just to stay awake during the day, just to do the normal functions. And when you're sleeping, it doesn't shut off. I've always known that when I'm sick, the key to healing is sleep, rest. We don't even get to do that no more because one too many days in bed, we could end up under a bridge. Mm-hmm. 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 So what I coach my mentees through is through the processes of getting back to them, creating their own identities. And more importantly, I want you to have the toolbox full of tools that you need to get out of this luxury jail that we have created for ourselves. Some of y'all done hung up pictures in y'all cells and affirmations. I'm gonna get out of survival mode. I'm gonna tend to me. I'm gonna do self care. You scream self care, but then you continuously select the option of self abandonment. So I'm going to tell you, how many of you guys said last year, I'm going to have a better plan for 2026? 2026 is not going to look like this. I'm going to plan it out. I'm going to get a new journal. I'm going to get a new planner. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat better. Your mind's not going to shut off in survival mode. It keeps running. Self care is connected to your self love. And the truth is unfortunately, a lot of us lack self love. A lot of us lack self love because we were never taught it. And we have a very dark idea of what love looks like to begin with, to even begin to give it to ourselves. I don't see no tapping in this room, and I know I'm dropping fire. I know I'm dropping fire. Okay. So self care isn't about you going and spending $10,000 or having these bath time rituals or even a journaling session. Self care is about you being able to say, I love, value, and respect myself enough to have boundaries. Self sabotaging is a reaction to survival. Self care says, I'm not going to go out and party because I actually know I need to recharge. So I'm going to stay in and I'm going to breathe tonight. Self care is saying, I'm not going to go and give my money away because I actually plan to put this on me. Self care is not about financial as much as it is internal. Okay. Self care is caring about you, respecting you, appreciating you, and getting to know you. All right. So you think you need a better plan. You think you need a better everything else. You think you need more discipline, motivation, inspiration. But no, what you need is a better nervous system. Now, understanding. So if you have all the advice, what should someone do for self-care? You don't even have a name. What should someone do for self-care? You got your 15 seconds of fame, Mercury. What should someone do for self-care? You think for yourself. That was the best advice you had. All right, we got our time to shine. We're not doing that in 2026, okay? You create boundaries. You do what you need for you and not listen to people with no names, okay? So, moving forward, listen, all these things. So, moving on along here. Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. Tap the screenshot alive. I'm so happy that you guys are all here. Thank you. So, with a better nervous system, we're going to talk about the nervous system now because this is the one thing, the one shift that everybody needs. Okay. So we're not doing resolutions. We're not focusing on our vision board. Some of y'all have had the same vision board posted for the last decade. You look at it every day and it just makes you feel bad because you know that in that season of creating that board, that's really what you wanted for yourself. That's what your vision was. But now you're not there anymore. You're not in that season and you're not that person. So this year, we're not going to build off of resolutions or goals or even in the moment desires. What we're going to build on is regulation. God just confirmed through you what I just said an hour ago to my boyfriend. Amen. 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 So this year we're building on regulation. Regulation is what I need you all to start doing to your nervous system. For those of you that are saying I'm exhausted, for you that are saying I don't sleep well or I can't sleep at all, for those of you in the room that are saying I'm burnt out or I just can't push through anymore. This is where your relief is going to come in. So we're going to get this screen. We're going to get to tapping like never before. Okay. So this is about remembering that you deserve a life that you don't need to push the panic button on to survive. You don't need an alert to go off. You don't need a magic sorcery to come in. What you actually need is to regulate your nervous system. Okay. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. And thank you for my lovely loyal tappers in the room. I see y'all. I see y'all. We almost to our live share goal, which is 50. We got 32 down there, I see, and the hearts are still hearting. Y'all are amazing. Okay. So, what if 2026 is the year that you stop saving everyone else and you finally start saving yourself? What would that look like? And I want y'all to be as imaginary as possible, as descriptive as possible, as real as possible, and as honest as possible. What if 2026 is the year you stop overextending, self sabotaging, abandoning, and abusing? Good morning. What if 2026 is the year that you choose you and start living life and not everyone else? Some of y'all would be more restful. Some of you would be happier. Some of you will have extended out of happy and into your joy, your peace, your comfort. What would that look like for you? Listen, people will always believe that you're crazy, you're wrong. They will always say, oh, you switched up. Oh, this isn't this and this isn't that. You get tired of settling. You get tired of aborting. You get tired of abandoning. You get tired of neglecting. You can't get mad at other people for mistreating you when you mistreat you first. I would be happier and more patient with every day. My kids would have a healthier mom. But let's do it this way, Monique. Let's even take it a step further. Let's isolate us, okay? Let's isolate us. Yes, the kids would have a healthier mom. Yes, the spouses would have, happier wives. Yes, yes, yes. We're not even thinking about them. This is how I know that you guys are stuck in everybody else mode, because even your better years are to be better for them. What makes you better for you? A list of 5 things. Happier and more patient person, yes, that would be great for you. But I can also see how you can find a way to make that better for everybody else. What about you? Actually figuring out who you are, what you want. If the world stopped today and you were the only one left in it, what would that look like? Because I don't want it to be that your contingent of life is on everybody else and everything else. Because at the end of the day, we're still our own bodies. We're still our own individuals. And this is how we get lost in being the perfect moms, the perfect wives, the perfect sisters, the perfect daughters, because our lives become based off of their happiness and their success. Their success. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So really thinking about that and coming up with real deal answers, knowing that your identity is built on you and you alone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. Money on autopilot. I receive that and speak that back into your life for 2026. Okay. All right. So in 2026, I want you to practice this one sentence every moment that guilt tries to take over your day, your moment, your season. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to place one hand on your chest and one on your belly if necessary. Some of you can just do your hand on your chest. When you place your hand on your chest, I want you to take a deep breath in and breathe out. And the safety statement I want you to say is, I am safe and I am not responsible for everything. I am safe and I am not responsible for everything, because you are not. You are responsible for you and you are responsible for you alone in that moment. Okay. You have to create safety statements. Why? Because when you are in survival mode, you don't feel safe anywhere, anything at any moment. So your brain doesn't just know, oh, this person's in safety, we can relax. Oh, the sun is down, we can go to sleep. Oh, this is this. No, you have to actually tell this to your brain. You have to tell this to your body, and you have to get your body to listen and calm down. I want you to think of this in real time. When you're freaking out and you are unsafe, what is happening in your body? You're panicking. You're sweating. You're probably cussing and fussing. You're moving really, really fast. You're not focusing. You're everywhere but nowhere. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. You're everywhere but nowhere. And so when you are calming your nervous system, when you're regulating your emotions, you are actually you're getting its attention very gently but sternly. That's what the deep breathing is going to do. Thank you. That is what the deep breathing is going to do. That is what the box breathing is for. That is with this moment, this touch. Why? Because your body responds to physical touch. Hmm. So, again, when you get ready to spaz out, crash out, or freak out throughout your day, I want you to take in a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I want you to say, I'm safe and I'm not responsible for everything right now. And I want you to say it until you believe it. And I want you to say it with care. I want you to say it with love. And I want you to say it as if you were telling a child that was running, screaming, and crying in the road that they are in danger. You want them to know that they're safe. You want them to know that they're secure. And you want them to know that there is going to be a better way. So I want you to talk to yourself the exact same way. Some of y'all talk way too nasty to yourselves and wonder why y'all's body reacts the way it reacts. I've tried it. I have tried to cuss myself through some stuff. You just need to do it anyway. You're so lazy. You need to get up and move around. Nobody cares you're sick. No one cares your body hurts. No one cares. Da 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 da. Do it, do it, do it, do it. And my body was like, I'm gonna show you. Now, not only am I not gonna do the shit you begging me to do, now I'm gonna make you sicker. Now I'm gonna make it hurt more. Why? Because the truth is that no one wants to talk about is we're not battling with today's trauma. We're battling with the childhood trauma. That little girl that never got to speak for herself. That little girl that never got to use the nightlight and she was terrified of the dark. That little girl that needs you to come back like you said you would and show her that she's safe. Some of y'all don't want to talk to her because you don't feel like you're qualified to. Some of you feel like you are still exactly where she is. Can I tell y'all that y'all are not there anymore and it's time that you accept that? You still not that little girl shaking and hiding in the corner. Hmm. You are not that little girl that had to hide when it got too loud. You are no longer that little girl that couldn't turn off the lights because you were scared what was coming in the darkness. You are no longer that little girl. But until you go back and reassure her, she is going to keep showing up. She's going to keep kicking shit over and she is going to keep controlling your life. You don't have to earn the right to rest or to heal or to even be chosen. A very long time. If you allow her to, yes, she's going to believe that. Some of you guys think the way to handling things is to avoid them. If you want your mom to stop thinking she can control you, show her. You can show her better than you can tell her. She eventually is going to have to let you live either today or tomorrow. So you have to choose your new year identity decision. You have to choose that. No one else. I can't choose it for you. Your mom can't. I have to show her. She told me that I'm being disrespectful. That's her opinion. That is her opinion. But the truth is that she's probably like that because that's how she was raised. And she probably thinks that she's protecting you. But that's here nor there. Okay. So 2026 is choosing season. You are choosing who you are, who you're becoming. All right. Thank you, Chrissy. Go and create the day you deserve. Okay. You are amazing. Have a happy new year and an amazing day. All right. So choosing you should be your first choice, your first option, and your first desire. If choosing you is the last on your list, you're already doing it long. Thank you, babes. If choosing you first or choosing you last is the option, you're already doing it last. So if you want to be a better you need to prepare yourself now that you are already the villain in their story. You need to know they're already going to tell you that you're doing it wrong. You're crazy. You done switched up. You acting brand new. Who do you think you are? All these things. Yes, they probably are going to happen. Okay. They're probably going to be Debbie Downers. They're going to be negative Netties. You're already prepared for that. That's not what's holding you back anymore. You are on the quest to be a better you. Being on the quest of being a better you is going to come with you asking yourself very hard questions. Like, who's actually coming with me into 2026 healed, rested, and unbothered? That's how you're going to move. When you get ready to make a decision about the people around you, about the situations about you, thank you. When all of these things are happening, who's coming into me into 2026? What's coming in to 2026 with me? Because everything doesn't have to go. Just because it was there last year, maybe it was there to the last final second. It does not have to stay. Listen, I have never changed my number, but my block list is extensive. I've had the same phone number my entire life, but I do not respond to everything that comes through. I do not keep every number. I will block you. And in most cases, people know that I'm not going to respond, so they don't even bother. So since we have already crossed the threshold of 2026, as of today, what is staying in this rotation and what is leaving? That is a question you have to answer. And here's the thing, for those of you in the room that struggle with having boundaries, some of you struggle with boundaries. The reason you struggle with boundaries is because you don't really know what boundaries are. Boundaries are not ultimatums. They're not ultimatums. Boundaries are protection for you, your peace, and your growth. So if you are saying to me, my boundary is I don't like liars. I can't take lying. If you lie, I'm cutting you off. Yet and still, they lie and you keep them. You're actually telling me two things. One, you don't do well with actually, hey Ash, you don't actually do well with holding boundaries or holding the consequence of the boundary. And two, 9 times out of 10, what you're telling me is you're actually not against them lying to you because you lie to yourself. Some of you are frequent liars to yourself, so much that you have made it a single language of lyonese. I don't agree, Trish. I don't agree at all. I don't think society has anything to do with your boundaries. Boundaries are personal based. So, how does society have anything to do with you upholding your boundaries? Hmm. Some of you speak fluent Lyonese and then you wonder why you're being lied to. Some of you manipulate yourselves first and wonder why others manipulate you. Yeah, I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. And I know that some people do. I know that's not my story, but I understand that people that do live in corporate world working and all those things, they could feel that way. But that's probably a part of the reason why I got out of it, to be honest with you. So yeah, I won't do too much. I won't do too much, but I can see that perspective. I can definitely see that perspective. So when you are going into new year, new you have to actually decide how much of new you is going to come out. Because of new you just consists of changing your hair color, changing your hairstyle, changing your attire, maybe changing your car, your home. This is not really what the new year, new you should be. The new year, new you should be more boundaries, clearer boundaries. You know what I'm saying? More of you doing what's best for you, taking yourself on trips. You don't need a group of people to take a trip with you because you are your own entertainment. Hmm. But the truth is some of you guys are afraid to spend time with yourself because the thoughts, the reminders, a haunting. Okay. There are different things for different people that will make you make certain decisions. And once you actually get tuned into you, nothing or no one can tell you who you are, what to believe in, or what to do. That's just it. That's all. Less of more of what God, well, not less. Let me fix that. More of who God says you are, not necessarily about what He wants for you. A lot of times we can't see the fullness of what He wants for us until we can actually see who He says we are. Honestly, so we can't skip steps here because why not? Because why not? All of last year, everybody would come to um Every time we would have a meeting, because in my mentorship, we meet every Sunday, we have a live group coaching session. And every day they would come in and they're like, I'm sick of me. I'm so tired of my stuff. I don't want to do this no more. I don't know why I keep making these decisions. I don't know why I can't get out of my way. And what it ended up boiling down to is if you're really tired of you, you will not show up saying how tired of you are. You will actually then begin to adjust your habits because you will identify that you're the problem. Your habits are the culprit here. And I understand that the culprit is the survival mode, it's the self sabotaging, it's the shame, the guilt, the broken belief systems. But as long as your habits align with that identity, you will continue to stay there for many, many more years, many, many more months. So the choice is yours. When you're sick of you, you will do things differently. The start, stop, stuck cycle. Start, stop, stuck cycle. Mm-hmm. 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 So this is the year you have to decide what is it that you're actually going to do. And when you make that decision, your brain is going to follow that. If you follow it, it is going to lead you where exactly where you want to be. The best decision I could have ever made was to get out of my own way. By doing that, I got a self-esteem coach. I got back into the word of God. I started to do what I love to do, which is praise and worship. I started to surround and immerse myself with those things that made me whole, those things that made me feel full. I'm not telling you you have to do my steps. What I am saying is the one step you cannot avoid is making a decision. The decision is going to be either I'm going to stay here or I am going to move. Whatever that looks like for you is going to be what it's going to be. But I'm not here to sell you no dream, give you no life hacks, or give you no skip steps. You cannot outdo your natural programming. And right now, your natural programming is to be the victim and stay on default and not make a move. I'm telling you, first and foremost, making more money is not going to change it. You getting another hustle is not going to change it. You avoiding it, you lying to yourself, you doing the most is not going to change it. You have to do the work. Okay. The one thing I learned, to be very honest with you, is I could not pray survival mode away. That is not what that did. What I did was I prayed for what tools I needed. In that, then that's when I was able to start regulating my nervous system, finding more education and wisdom, starting to do more. The body is separate from the spirit. The body is itself what you're dealing with. The spirit is actually pretty good as long as you are connected to your source, but the body still needs you to do some additional work. Okay. So that is my story. That is what worked for me. That is why I created my mentorships. That is why I created my subscription accounts, because I want people to understand that emotional regulation as well as nervous system regulation is what happens after you identify that trauma has caused a damage to your nervous system. You, in fact, have to start to regulate it. That means you're going to do box breathing. That means you're going to do grounding exercises. That means that you are going to have to journal and you're going to have to be intentional with your healing. You don't do this by avoiding, you don't do this by working harder and distracting, and you don't do this by endless hours of scrolling on social media. Okay. So if you're in the audience now and you're screaming, I choose me, I'm going to change, I'm going to be better, I'm going to do different, I want to see it. I want to see it. If you are looking for accountability, if you're looking for community, I do offer the Shame Detox Boot Camp. It is my mentorship for 16 weeks. In 16 weeks, I help you overcome the fears and the setbacks and the natural default settings that we tap into going into setting clear boundaries, being able to stand on big business, and more importantly, being able to live the life that you created with your own identity and not the identity of your past, your trauma, or your upbringing. Okay. So that mentorship is linked up here, as well as I have other goodies if you're wanting to start at a different level. But you will click my face twice, my link will pop up, and you can go over there and explore, see what's going on, see what's best for you. I would love to work with you if that is in the cards for us. But more importantly, I want you to have the tools in your toolbox that are not just about your natural default, but how you actually get to 2026. Because what does 2026 look like for you? Does it look like joy and outside, or does it look like clouds, rainstorms, and tears? You get to make those decisions. Life doesn't stop lifing, but you are in control of how you react to it. Okay. So before I let you guys go, I'm going to do better, be better, and heal better. Amen. I love that. I love that because that is the goal. And when you make that decision, everything will start to align itself that way specifically. Every decision that I've made, when I decided to heal, I started to heal. When I decided to be in that relationship, everything aligned with me being in that relationship. Now, when you decide, you can always tell what you decided on because it will be in your life. You will have a mirror. In the wintertime, grounding exercises that I recommend, a good grounding exercise would be just sitting flat with your feet on the ground. You can do this inside or outside, and you would do your box breathing. One of my favorite grounding exercise that I do is water work, where I take the shower and I just allow all of the stress and all of the pressure to rinse off of my body, go down the drain. There are a few different techniques that you can do for grounding. Some people actually do still, in fact, go outside, even though it's wintertime, because you just need to get that sun on your skin. You just need to breathe in some fresh air. You just need to be set in your own. Okay. Are there any other questions for you guys that I can help with? Thank you so much, Tiki, for asking that question. Anybody else? I enjoyed each and every one of you. I hope your new year is off to an amazing start. I love me a good shower. Ooh, love me a good shower. And then I go to Bath and Body Works and they have these like little like discs and you can put them in there and it's like aromatherapy and it like uses the steam. Hello, happy new year. Hmm. No, thank you for existing. Thank you for living and thank you for choosing you another day. So proud of you. Yes, I got you. I got you. All right, y'all. If y'all don't have no more questions for me, I'm gonna go ahead and get my day started. And then tonight we're gonna come back and we're gonna do our nighttime bedtime wind down because how you go to bed helps with how you wake up. And for those of you in the room that are like, I can't sleep, I have a hard time falling asleep. Some of you have a hard time staying asleep. Some of you really just have a really bad relationship with sleep. Come on back. I'm gonna give you a bedtime tip to help you relax and doze off and hopefully stay there. I've had a lot of people come back to my lives and tell me that my nighttime and my morning lives actually do wonders. Mm-hmm. 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 All right, y'all. Go have the day that you create. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye. Thank you. Well, we're gonna try to change that, Monique. I'll see y'all later. Yes, I'm looking forward to it too. Talk to you guys later.